Hi everyone, welcome back, or welcome to the channel if you haven't watched my stuff before. It's a bit of stuff here, a bit of stuff there, a bit of cooking, a bit of vlogs that I do just in my local area, and some for when I travel, which is once a year. For those who don't know, I care for my dad and I get 3 weeks once a year where I go travelling and do some stuff there, have a look at my Malaysia videos. I was in Kuala Lumpur a few months ago. I also go to India. I've been there quite a few times. I like India. But today I'm doing something different. It's Good Friday, and every Good Friday, or most every, I haven't missed one I think in about 30 years, I make lobster mornay, and my lobster mornay, if I do say so myself, is quite exceptional. And it's been a little secret that I haven't given out before, but I'm going to give you my lobster mornay recipe. It's done in 3 stages. So I start in the morning and I prepare the milk, which is what we're about to do now. Don't miss any of the steps. They're simple steps, they're simple ingredients except for the lobster. Don't buy home brand stuff. You're doing a lobster, so you know this is an expensive ingredient, so you want to use the best products to make your mornay sauce. So the first thing I do is, like I say, I prepare the milk. So I've got here, 500 ml of full cream milk. Don't use low fat milk for this recipe. And just here, let's see if I can show you the secret ingredients to preparing the milk. Here's a couple of bay leaves, 4 or 5, 6 peppercorns, and a couple of slices of onion. It doesn't matter what onion you use, red, white, brown. I don't have onions, but I do have shallots, so I'm using the shallots. And what we do is, let me just turn you around here so you can see the process, hopefully without the camera falling, is just get the stove switched on. We pour the milk into the saucepan. I'm making a big batch of mornay sauce because you can actually freeze it if you've got any excess and use it another time. You can use this mornay sauce recipe for numerous things. I've even made chicken mornay pies using this mornay sauce recipe. Fish pies, seafood pies, which I do in the mornay sauce, put it on a casserole dish, top it with mashed potato, grated cheese. That's yum, but today we're making lobster. So in goes the bay leaves, the shallots, the peppercorns, and what we do is we just bring this up about 50% heat, slowly bring it up to a good simmer. And once that process is done, I'll give it a couple of minutes there. Don't boil it, just let those flavours infuse. And then when that's done, we put it into a little container and let it cool down, cover it and put it in the fridge. You can do this step the day before actually if you want to. I'm doing it 8 hours ahead of time, which is good enough. So I'm just going to leave that there, let that simmer for a little while, keep an eye on it, and come back this afternoon and do the rest. So it's a couple of hours later, and now is the time to prep the lobster. You don't need to get a green lobster and boil it. You can buy an already cooked lobster for lobster mornay recipe. And this is what our little West Australian rock lobsters look like. A little bit just rolled off there because I've already prepped it off camera. What you do when you get the lobster, you go to its underside. I start with putting the knife in here and go this way and then I turn it around and go that way, split it in half, and I clean out all the head meat. Some people like to use that, I don't. And what we do from there, we've got to pull the lobster meat out because it's going to be too hard to eat if you don't. So get out as much of the lobster meat as you can without destroying the shell, which is the hard part. But look, it all gets covered over with Mornay sauce and cheese in the end, so it really doesn't matter, but you do want to keep it as presentable as possible. I won't do all of this on film, go through that process, but as you can see, I've taken that out in one piece. Put that aside there, reach over for the little knife, you chop it up into smallish size bites so that each little piece gets covered in that creamy Mornay sauce. So there we go, we've got like a handful of lobster meat. This was only a 320 gram lobster, so it's a little small one, but the meat is sweeter. So what I do is I put that in the bowl, and I'll continue. I've got another lobster as well, and I'll continue with this one, and then we'll come back and make the Mornay sauce. Okay, so here we are, and this is the crucial stage. This is a stage where you don't want to be walking away from the stove. You stay here if you've got little kiddies, have somebody watching out for them, hubby or whoever. Got in here 3 tablespoons of butter, just got that melting. This process is the part that needs the most care. Like I say, you don't want to be walking away from making a Mornay sauce. Very important. So once I've got that melting nicely, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of plain flour. I'm going to give it 3 good ones here. And what you need to do, combine that flour in with the butter. This is called a roux, R-O-U-X. See, I'm mixing, can you see that? Mixing the butter and the flour together. And you need to cook out the flour. This is very important. If you don't do that properly, then you're going to taste the flour through the sauce. You can forward fast the video a little bit from here, but this is a stage where you keep stirring. You can eventually smell the flour. So when it's cooked out, you won't have that strong floury smell. I do have a little trick to ensuring that that doesn't happen, which is going to be the next stage. It's all mixing in there. It'll become foamy. Yeah, I can still smell the flour, so I'm going to keep stirring it. It's all incorporated. Now it's just a matter of cooking that flour out. It'll thicken as you go through this process as well. This is starting to bubble. Just going to turn that down a bit. I'm on about 40% power, just under the halfway mark. So at this stage, just to ensure that the flour has cooked out properly, because you don't want to continue too long, otherwise you're going to burn the roux. I add in a dash of wine, and my rule of thumb is never use wine in your cooking that you would not drink yourself. So this is Chardonnay, it's white wine. Oh, you can smell it out. And look at the consistency we've come to here. Can you see that, guys? It's a very thick, buttery glue. It's nice and smooth. Just going to add another little dash of white wine in. Incorporate that into the mix, and that really ensures that the flour has cooked out. Plus, when the alcohol burns off, it doesn't leave a nice flavour in the Mornay sauce. I think it does. So that's drying out well now. It's still smooth. So now this is where we start putting in that the milk mixture that we made earlier. It's still got the bay leaves and the onion and the peppercorns in it, so gradually put in a little bit through a sieve, because you don't want to be putting those spices into the sauce. And just a little bit at a time. Keep it stirring, because you've got to make sure that you don't get any lumps. If you do get lumps in it, you can rectify it by using one of those hand blenders or a whisk. This is thickening up really nice. So as it incorporates in and there's no more liquid, add a little bit more. Just a bit at a time. Yeah, it's coming together really nicely. It smells fabulous. And because I've kept stirring it, there's no lumps. It's nice and smooth. I'm just going to turn it down to a quarter now, 25% power. I'm on an electric stove, which is a lot easier to regulate. Just a little bit at a time. I love lobster mornay. It's honestly one of my favourite foods. I don't order it out anymore because I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but mine's better. And like a third of the price as well. This was The dearest I've ever found lobsters, they were $30 each. That's 30 Australian dollars. Each one weighed about, one was 320 grams and one was actually 400 grams. I don't think I'm going to have to use the rest of that milk for this recipe. I think I've got it to the right consistency, and that'll thicken as it's cooking as well. Now here's another one of my little tricks, or my little tips anyway. Just about 1/3 of a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Don't use English mustard, don't use German mustard. Dijon mustard or French mustard, just 1/3 of a teaspoon. Just adds a little bit of a tang to the Mornay sauce. So we cook that through. I'll keep stirring it for a couple of minutes. It'll thicken up a little bit more. This is what it's looking like at the moment. It's nice and creamy. Smells so good. And that'll thicken over the next couple of minutes, and then we'll mix it in with the lobster meat, put it into the lobster shells, sprinkle some grated cheese over the top and bake it in the oven. Bob's your uncle. That's my lobster Mornay recipe. I'll come back when we get it all together and put it in the oven. Okay, so here we come to the best part. This is where I'm going to mix the Mornay sauce, which I've let come down to room temperature. That's another important tip. You can't put really hot sauce on the cooked lobster. You've got to let it come down to room temperature, otherwise the meat will contract and it will become really tough. So I've let this come down to room temperature. You don't want to put it in the fridge, because if it's too cold then it will take too long to cook the lobster in the oven, and once again it will become tough. So I'm going to mix the Mornay sauce with the lobster. I'm going to put it in the lobster shells that I've cleaned out. I'm going to top it with cheese. We're going to put it in the oven. I've also got in over here in the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer and you have access to buying one, buy an air fryer. You can do anything in the air fryer. I've just got some French fries in here that I'm going to serve with the lobster, because they're really good for the spillage of the Mornay sauce. You can use the chips as a vessel to scoop all that up with, but air fryers are really good. You can do bacon in there, you can do cakes in there, you can do eggs in there, steak, so many things you can cook in an air fryer. Whoever invented the air fryer, thank you, I think I love you. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, so I'm going to get onto that, show you what it looks like just before I put it in the oven. So here we are. I've mixed the sauce and the lobster together, put it into the shells, covered it with cheese. I've used cheddar cheese, but the best would probably be like a French cheese or a Gouda. You could Swiss cheese. You could pretty much use anything except for Parmesan. You don't want anything too strong. Just a cheddar cheese, Edam, Gouda, Swiss. I've got a little bit of leftover Mornay sauce. It's not enough to make a pie with, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use that as a sauce base on a seafood pizza. So I'll put that over the pizza base, add on some prawns, crab meat, chopped up squid, mozzarella cheese. That'll be for another day, but tonight it's all about the lobster. How good does that look? Yum. So here is the final product. This is one lobster with French fries. Just a bit of salt on there. A bit of pepper. Little sprinkling of parsley. And I'm going to take that into Dad. That's his Good Friday meal. He hasn't been well lately and he's in a bit of pain with his cancer in his spine. So I'm going to take this in and serve it to him in bed. And I think he's going to like that. So there you go, guys. That's my secret recipe that I've been holding on to for 30 years. And it's all out there for you guys. Enjoy.